Good morning. It's another beautiful day here. Reasons to be cheerful. There's several this morning. The first one is my husband is, well, you can see it's a beautiful day. My husband is just cooking us a beautiful brunch to celebrate the arrival of summertime. The clock's moved forwards this morning, and so we're going to celebrate with a big brunch. Food is always good to celebrate. The second one is the off button on 24-hour news channels. How important it is to be informed, but then after having the information, switch it off, because, the relief, the bombardment of such sensationalised news on some channels, not everyone. Obviously you select who you want to watch and get your information from, and hopefully the good sources of information, the sort of root sources like the WHO website and things like that. But the relief of switching that news coverage off. Whew. And then social media. How lovely it is that we have this ability to be able to connect with people who are so far away. My father is in Scotland, I'm in the south of France, my brother is in the east of England, and uncle is in the south of England. We're just so lucky. My son is in the Midlands, so of England, but we have friends and family scattered all over the place. We have friends in France and relatives in France, in different parts of France. Weaving friends all over the world, lots of them in the US, lots of them in Australia and New Zealand, lots across Europe. It's really, really lovely to be able to connect outwards with those folks and bring the world to you, to your own living room. I think that's amazing. And my first real appreciation of social networking came when our son was in a theatre of war in war zone in 2012. And he was away for 7 months doing a dangerous job. And it was a very tense time, as you can imagine. But every time I went online, I had his Facebook page as my go-to page as soon as I switched on the computer. And just seeing that little green dot by his name made me aware that right now, right this minute, my son is safe and well. And I realised what a huge privilege it was for us as relatives in times of war, when you've got loved ones away fighting. How our ancestors didn't have, people in the First and Second World Wars and other wars, didn't have that. They had letters that they wrote that they had no idea if they'd reached the person concerned. They had no idea if they'd been read. They had no idea if that person was okay. And it took weeks and months for a reply to come back, if it came back at all. And I realised just how lucky we are to have social media, to be able to connect like that, wherever in the world other people are. It's just, aren't we the lucky ones? We really, really are. And that brings me to my last point for today. I have maybe 2 friends who are not connected in any shape or form. They don't have computers. They're not on the internet. They're in their 80s. They are entirely delightful people. But how to connect with them right now? Now, the lost art of letter writing. I used to write once a week to my surrogate granny when I was at music college back in the, 80s? 70s and 80s. And she was an English teacher, so I had to be very careful with my grammar, my syntax, good use of vocabulary. And she kept all my letters, and I'd have loved to have had them back. When she died, my parents burnt them, so I was sad about that. But how to keep in touch with people who don't have social media and ways of connecting now, it's rediscovering letter writing and how you have to sit and think. You can't just dash off a note and then hit the delete button when, you think, oh no, that's not going to come across right. I didn't mean it to come out quite like that. And you need to rephrase how you've written something. If you're writing a letter, you can't scrub it out. You can. You can put a line through it, but you don't want to be sending a letter full of lines, full of crossed out writing. So you really have to think about what you're going to write and think about how it comes across. because you don't have a backspace button, you don't have a delete button. And for me, that's a blessing to be rediscovering the lost art of letter writing. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're staying safe, keeping well, and all my love from Southwest France. Till next time. Bye-bye.